Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is the one and only, the true and living legend, Honcho J23, coming to you live with another very special edition of Independent Scene Podcast. I am your host, Honcho J. I want to take this opportunity right now to thank you guys for joining me on this evening's podcast. I am so delighted to be back with you once again for another. I am truly honored to be here with you guys on today. I really got a really dope show today. I also will be having my DJ will be joining me on this podcast, as well as my special guest will be joining me as well. But just real quickly, for all of you guys that are going to be tuning in that are new to the platform, I want to say welcome. My DJ is already in the building. We're gonna bring my DJ in, and then we're gonna get the show rolling. Let's get it. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. What's good? What's good? What's good? Trying to get my DJ. What up, bro? What up? What up?
What's good?
What's going on with you, man? Everything good? Everything good? What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? All right, we're trying to get things right. We're trying to get things right over here. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get things right. Make sure my DJ is in the building. DJ Way Banner. You know what I'm saying? We're having technical difficulties, but he's gonna come back. He's gonna be spinning on the ones and twos for y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know what I'm saying, one of the dopest DJs out here in the Carolinas. You know what I'm saying? He moved from the Carolinas, but nonetheless, he is still, in my eyes, one of the dopest DJs out here. Deja Vu, what up? What up? What up? What up, love? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's going on, everybody? What's going on? I am Honcho J23, the one and true and living legend himself. I am glad to know that you guys are tuning in. This is gonna be a dope show today. I am definitely excited. Let's get my DJ back in the building. He's gonna be tuning in with us, getting it live right. There we go. We back.
Yeah. I got it now.
All right. Bet that. I'm glad you able to join me, bro. What's good with you? What's good with you? Everything good? What up,
Yeah,
Zay?
everything.
All right, but look, Rookie, before my guest pops, we just gonna play a little something real quick. You know what I'm saying? Just get the live jumping, get the crowd in here, and then
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Is it coming through?
Nah, probably because you got your headphone on.
Probably once I take this out, I ain't gonna be able to hear you no more though.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, shoot. With that being said, like I said, like I said, I want to welcome everybody to the live. You know what I'm saying? This is Independent Scene Podcast with your true Honcho J, the one and only. My DJ Wade Banner. You know what I'm saying? He is in the building. Real quickly, let me get my guest in the building. So real quick, just a little synopsis real quick, guys. My guest is he's been seen on Tyler Perry's Madea's Christmas. He's been seen on Tyler Perry's Madea's On the Run. I definitely cannot wait for you guys to to tap into this live, tap into this podcast. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be amazing. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to drop your questions. Feel free to ask questions. The whole 9 yards. Like I said, real quickly, we're trying to get things going. And he's already in the building. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my guest at this time. None other than my brother, and good friend, Maurice Lauchner. Let's get it. Yes, sir. All right. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with my DJ too. Y'all follow him right now. Tap in with him. Wait a minute. Hold on. There you go. He's coming in, guys. He's coming in.
Yo, what's up, brother?
Maurice, what's going on, brother? How are you, sir?
Doing good, man.
Most definitely. First of all, I want to say I'm truly honored to have you on the platform, man. I'm definitely, as you can see, I'm a big fan of yours, of course. So I'm definitely excited to get a chance to know you, get a chance to chop it up with you, and definitely hope that you enjoy yourself as well.
Oh yeah, we will, man. It's all good. All
Most
good
definitely.
times, brother.
Most definitely. Well, first of all, for people that don't know you, please introduce yourself to all these fine people. Then we're gonna jump right into it.
Well, my name is Maurice Lauchner. I am let me see, I got a bunch of titles. I'm
That you do, sir.
yeah, I'm a husband, a father, grandfather, pastor, singer, actor, songwriter, national recording artist. It's a whole bunch.
Most
Yeah, I
definitely.
mean,
Most
but
definitely.
we could talk about a whole bunch of different things as we go on, man.
Most definitely. Well, first of all, as I say, I'm truly, it is an honor to finally get a chance to meet you virtually and get a chance to talk with you because of course, I've seen you in some of your some of your stuff, and I'm truly have been a fan since. So definitely can't wait. I got a lot of people tapping in, so we just go
Oh,
jump
dope,
right
dope.
into it. We just go jump right into it. So the first thing I wanna know is what led you
Yes.
into singing? What got you into singing?
Um, Man, it's something it was a gift that was noticed when I was very young. Great, actually, it was my great grandmother and my mom, my grandmother, my father. They're all musical, and they all sing. Singing is in my family. And so, I guess when I came along, they noticed the gift really early. Um, I had, I was whistling in tune at like 3 years old.
Okay.
So, so they noticed I had the gift, and then I, would watch my grandparents, my mom, and them sing, and and so it was like when I started, revealing that I had some musical abilities. They grabbed it right away and just made me sing. And sometimes when I didn't even want to sing, but they noticed the gift. So that's it. It started very young, man. It started in the house, in the family. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely, most definitely. Well, I gotta say, man, of course, me and of course a bunch of others have heard you sing, and you truly are incredible. I must say, me
Appreciate that,
personally,
brother.
as they say, I'm one of those ones that sing in the shower, so to speak, sing in my bathroom and whatnot. But with you, on the other hand, you take it to a whole nother dynamic, and it's just truly impeccable to watch you and to see your progression and your journey. And I definitely can't wait to see what's next for you.
Yeah.
So my next thing, so of course I gotta ask the obvious. I gotta address the elephant in the room. Working with the great man himself, that being Tyler Perry himself, being a part of Madea's Christmas and Madea on the Run. What was that experience and that journey like for you? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Um, it was really really cool, man. How everything came about. First, a big shout out to my boy Tony Grant. Um, it if I took you through the whole story, it'd take about 20 minutes, but I'll try to
Okay.
shorten it up. I'll shorten it up in a little bit. Well, it's like this. Um, wow, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm from New York City. I lived, born and raised in Queens, and lived in Brooklyn and Queens most of my life. And the thing is that God told us to move, and we moved down to North Carolina. And within that move, it was like I was moving from a place where I would be auditioning every other day or every other week. I had an audition to go down to a place where it was like, it's the South. So, what's going on down there? I had to kind of figure it out. And long story short, a lot of my business was still in New York, so I would be traveling to New York City to sing. I was in a couple of corporate bands that I worked with. We did weddings and corporate events and all that stuff. So those are seasonal most of the time, and so that was my work back and forth to New York City, taking the bus, taking the plane, taking the train. However I was getting there, I had to go back and work. So all of that kind of slowed down as it came to the end of the year. So I moved to North Carolina in July.
Okay.
So it's popping at that point because people are getting married, their bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, and so we're doing all of that. And then the end of the year comes up and things start to slow down, fall behind financially. My car that I drove to North Carolina was repossessed. And then at this point, it's just like, I became a little frustrated because it's like, man, God, you told me to move down here. And now my opportunities were not as great as it would be if I was in New York, where it was a place where I was familiar. And so I just prayed. I was like, God, I have this gift. I just need an opportunity to use it. By this time, I lost my car. I was paying my rent at the end of the month instead of the beginning of the month. And it was tough. And so, lo and behold, I was hanging out with my brother Swayze, and I get a phone call from my boy Tony Grant. And he calls me up. He says, hey, Maurice, Tyler Perry and them are looking for somebody to play the father in this play that they're doing, this Christmas play. And I told them about you. And I was like, really? Because he and I had worked together before. We had a relationship. That was my boy. And I said, when he picked up the phone, I said, man, I need about $5,000. And he started laughing. He was like, man, I ain't giving you no $5,000.
Right.
Said, but I'm offering you a chance. I'm calling you about a chance to make some money. So I was like, I said, cool. So what happened was, hung up the phone. Maybe 5 minutes later, Tyler Perry Studios on my phone ID, and I pick up the phone. They said, hey, Maurice, we heard a lot about you, yada, yada, yada. Are you available to come and audition tomorrow? And I was like, to where? They was like, we'll come down to Atlanta. We're going to give you your flight information, yada, yada, yada. So I was like, okay, cool. They flew me down. It was, a bunch of people in there. I was the last person to audition. And I went inside and I sang, a song that was on my heart. It was one of my favorite hymns to sing. And so I went in and I sang. And I never forget Mark Swinton, who was the right hand or assistant to Tyler Perry. He just sat there and he sat back in his chair and he just looked at me and he was just like, he says, man, I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, so he's like, well, let's read the script, let's do the preliminary, let's do what we do.
Right, right.
This is not your first time audition. I was like, nah. So he's like, okay, cool. And then after I got finished, reading the sides and everything, he was like, well, do you have any time to stick around? And that's almost like the language, and I was like,
right.
I can't go nowhere until y'all take me back to the airport. So
right.
Yeah, I got time. And so fast forward, we all go upstairs, we go and we sing in front of Tyler Perry. And it was the girl actually who I did the duet with, Alexis Jones. She was in the room, I was there, and another young lady whose name I can't remember right now. We all sang in front of him. We sang right then. And then after I got finished singing, I hit the phone to my biggest fan, my grandfather.
Okay.
I didn't even call my wife. I called my grandfather first. I was like, yo. I called him and I was like, Dad, I said, yo, I just got finished singing for Tyler Perry. I said, if he doesn't hire me, he's never going to forget me. I said, my voice is still singing in the room. He was like, man. So he started laughing. He said, don't worry about it, man. He said, you're going to get it. And so I went downstairs and I sat down, and I never forget, my boy Erwin, he came downstairs. He says, hey, Maurice. He was like, so, yeah, he wants to hire you for the role. And I was like, word. And he's like, yeah. He's like, that's all you got to say is word? I was like, word. Because my thing is that I had prayed about this, and I had met Tyler Perry a year prior at an event, at Maya Angelou's event, her 80th birthday celebration. He was there, and you know how people that are always doing, so they moving and shaking, so they really don't have time to chit chat with you and all of that.
Right.
But, I told him I was looking to meet you, whatever. So it took a year for everything to come back around to where I actually standing in front of him and singing for him and whatnot. So. He hired me that day, and then the rest is history. He just kept hiring me. You know what I mean? So it was a good experience. I've grown. I've learned a lot about the business. I've got great relationships because of working with him, and here we are.
Most definitely, definitely such a very in-depth story that I must say. I gotta say this because in meeting the people that you connect with and being a part of these productions, the song selection is usually, whenever Tyler Perry, puts these songs together and puts the right people in place to sing these songs, it's always phenomenal. So,
Yeah.
you spoke about doing a duet song with Alexis Jones, another dope, talented artist out here.
Yeah.
The song "Mary Did You Know"? I mean, what was it about that song that made you two mesh together so well?
Well, I've sang that song before, like years ago, in another. I believe it was in the Black Nativity play. Hold on for 1 second. Hey, everybody.
What's
Thanks for
going on,
coming
everybody?
on. I appreciate all of y'all coming on and showing love. What's up, DJ? You, DJ,
Oh,
in
what's
the
good? What's
DJ,
good?
DJ.
Look, I'm so caught up in everything that everybody up there doing.
Yeah. So, that song, it just, the words, the lyrics, the whole meaning of that song, I think it's a year-round song. It's not even just a holiday song, but the songs were kind of, when Tyler Perry had mentioned, he wanted to end the song, it was a Christmas play. He wanted to end the song with us singing, certain different songs and everything. And then he asked the question, who knows, Mary, did you know? And he was like, I was like, I know it. And Alexis was like, I know it. He was like, okay, good. I want y'all to do that together and let the public speak. And let me
Right.
say, I think that was one of the best duets that I've performed in with Alexis. And then there was another one that I performed with it. I thought that was really dope too. But that one, I mean, like every year, every Christmas season, every holiday season, somebody saying this is the best duet in a play that I've heard, with Mary Did You Know? And, just the lyrics by itself, it really stirs you up emotionally. It stirs you up and just reminds you of, as a child, but, as Jesus, the great I am. And, it's just an amazing song. And the atmosphere when we recorded it was just amazing too, because if you watch, everybody's watching each other on stage. That was
Right.
my first production with Tyler Perry, and Alexis's first production with Tyler Perry. So everybody's watching each other do their thing on stage, and it was just like, yo, this is dope, man. Because this is a great opportunity, and it was a blessing. I thank God for every open door and every opportunity. And that was a
Most
good
definitely.
one. Yeah.
Most definitely. And and again, I gotta say from myself to everybody that has truly watched you and seen you in these productions have truly been remarkable. So I want to kind of get your thoughts on the transition from Madea's Christmas now over into Madea on the Run, and what was that whole journey and experience like for you? Being a part of that production, that being your second production.
Well, no, I did that. I've done. Let me see. Let me just pull them out there for you, because after I did Medea's Christmas, I did. Let me see, Aunt Bam's Place.
Oh, that's right. That. Ooh, how can I forget about that one? That was another good one
Right.
too.
And then after I did Aunt Bam's Place, I did The Have and the Have-Nots.
Right. That's.
Then after I did The Have and the Have-Nots, I did Madea Gets a Job.
Okay.
Then after I did Madea Gets a Job, came Madea on the Run. So I'm actually on 5 DVDs, and I've traveled 3 national tours. So we traveled with the Have and the Have-Nots, which was my first national tour. Then the second national tour was Madea Gets a Job, and then the third national tour was Madea on the Run. So now if you want me to go from the 1 to the 5th? The 5th one, I mean, all of them. I think the 5th one was one of my favorites. That's when I played the Reverend.
Right.
You You know, a lot of people got a lot of laughs off out of the Reverend. But then I was asking, I was like, asking the, like I said, how come every play that I'm in,
Right.
I'm being cheated on like I'm some kind of sucker. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I'm like, I was like, y'all treat me like a punk, man. It's like, yo,
Right.
put Maurice in the play so we can get some pretty girl to cheat on him. I'm like,
Right. And and it is so funny. It's so funny that you mentioned that because and as you mentioned, out of all the DVDs that you've been a part of, there have been because of course me again being a fan, I'm a fan of all, but my two favorite ones with you being in, of course, that being Madea on the Run, as like you said, as the preacher, and then Bam's Place. So I gotta talk about that, because you have so many different roles and so many different DVDs, and so it's like, it's like going into these characters. What is your mindset when you're looking at the script and you're going into these characters and you're trying to make sure that the character that you're giving out is gonna be nothing but phenomenal for the people to grasp? What is it like going into those characters?
well, a lot of the stuff that we're taught, as we prepare to be, as we read the script and as we prepare to be those characters, you have to have a backstory that makes what you do realistic. A lot of times you pull from real life. You have to pull from real life experiences, and so to be Carson, who was living in a nursing home, that wasn't my original part. I was somebody's husband,
Right.
but then they did some changes in the cast to where I'm walking down the hall, I'm walking in the theater, and Tyler Perry says, "Hey, you're gonna be Carson," and I was like, I started laughing, because it's like I've already learned what the other guy was supposed to do,
Right.
so now it's like you're gonna be Carson. But I started laughing because I had already had in my head and been looking at the guy who was doing it. And I had already had in my head who I would pull from to be this character. Who could I adapt to be this character? And of course, I thought of my grandfather, because my
Okay.
grandfather was older. I mean, when he passed last year, he was 91. I want to say he was 91 or 92. But
Okay.
he was such a cool 92. You know what I'm saying? He was smooth.
Right.
So
Right.
I was like, if I'm going to be old, I want to be like my grandfather. I want to be smooth. I want to be funny. I want to be witty. I want to have jokes. I want to be, And so I kind of channeled him in a sense to bring that character to life. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So a lot of times, whatever character that you're going to have, you want to create that backstory that makes that character come to life when you open your mouth and become Carson or the Reverend, or the rich man. You know what I'm saying? So you
Right.
got to have that backstory to make it realistic. Yeah.
Most definitely. Now, let me ask this, because you also have been you also had the pleasure of working with also another funny favorite of mine, Patrice Lovely. And you
Oh, Lord.
spoke about
Yes.
me. And speaking of Carson, her Patrice Lovely, Mama Hattie doing, being who she is. What was that
Yeah.
dynamic like? Being able to work with her and just have that on screen chemistry with each other.
Man, well, I like to say that we both started together. I think, yeah, her first production also was Medea's Christmas, and just the camaraderie with everybody, working with Patrice, we having that relationship built there, and then being on tour with her as well. We formed that brother sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? And Patrice is just an amazing person. Once she takes off the Hattie stuff, you see this beautiful lady, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, she's so pretty." You know what I'm saying? It's like, and such a real person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of people think that they look at us and they see us on television. They watch us on BET. They they see us and they're like, you know, they have this, you create your own image of this person or what you think they might be. But
Right.
she's a really, really lovely person. And her last name is Lovely. But she's, you know, a really, really great person and so creative, so on point, you know, and very helpful. When in one of those scenes, it's like she's so funny and creative. She just jumps on my neck in The Dig Is the Job.
Right.
In rehearsal, and everybody's dying laughing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and
right.
The thing is like, Tyler Perry's like, yo, you gotta keep that. You gotta. And then when she's up there, then she's starting to braid the toupee that I have on my head, and it's like, yo, people are dying laughing because I mean, you know, she's so quick with
right.
the comedic stuff, and
right,
you know, and not only that, she can also switch it up and be that serious person, you know.
Right, right, right.
So I mean, working with her along with a lot of the others was just a great experience, you know. And we feed off of each other. We help each other grow. We have fun. You know what I'm saying? It's not like some tedious journey that we're going on when we're out there working with each other. I mean, you know, it could be tedious, but it just depends on how you roll. You know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, if anybody that follows me, or you know, everybody that sees me on my live, what you see is what you get. I'm not gonna switch up on you if I see you in person and be like, yo, oh, that's that dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what's up, son? You know, good to see you. You know, da 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 da.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And that's what it is. You know, and that's what it is. So yeah, it was wonderful working with Patrice.
Most definitely. You know, and again, you know, I definitely am glad that I've had the pleasure to, you know, watch these DVDs because, you know, in each DVD, you know, you always learn something. There's always a lesson. There's always a lesson and an experience that you get from these DVDs. Now, I gotta ask you this, you know, again, being a part, not only with you being a part of these productions and these shows, but has there been something that you've learned, you know, coming out of these productions that you've been able to take with you, you know, along with your life as well?
Oh yeah. I've learned a whole lot, man. You know, there's a thing that is often heralded, that this is show business that we're in, and I'd like to say it's business show, and I like to say that, you know, a lot of times, you know, we get with people and we're fulfilling their dreams. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a dream, and you're in the dream for a specific reason. Some people, I've worked with some people where you're in their dream and that's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People can, you know, you're there for that moment and then that's it. You know, but what I've learned is how to respect people, how to treat people, how to take care of people, understand a person's worth, you know, understand a person's what they bring to the table. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because some people, you have some people in the business who think that they are bigger than they are, and then you have some people who are big, but they act big, and then sometimes they don't respect everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right.
I'd like to, you know, create an and this, I'm speaking about me.
Right.
If I'm working with somebody, I like to create an atmosphere where everybody feels and understands that what they bring to the table is definitely a completion to the whole organism. It's a completion to everything. Everybody is needed. Everybody's gift is great. You know what I'm saying? There may be people that we work with who are green and who need to, you know, who will grow in the midst of it and everything. But knowing that everyone, respecting everyone, treating everyone like, you know, like they should be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So those are a lot of different things that being in this business since I was 20 something.
Okay.
I've been in the business for probably longer than you've been born. But um, just being, it doesn't have to be work if you create an atmosphere to where this is art.
Right, right,
This is what we do, you
right.
know, because I believe that the God-given gift that we all have, and every time people see us on stage and the things that we do, the singing that we do, the laughter and the things that make people laugh and all of that is medicine for a lot of people. It's
That
medicine
it is.
for us. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? There are times when we can get up there and we're not 100% physically, we're not 100% in our bodies, but we still are given 110% of what we have, the God-given gift that He's given us to make people laugh, to heal people, to say something that will cause a person to be restored, a person to get their faith back, all those different things, man. We hold that in our mouths. We hold that,
right, right,
as a gift. You know what I'm saying? And we present
right.
that to people when we get on stage. These are the things that I've learned by being not only with Tyler Perry, but because before I ever got with Tyler Perry, I was doing it 20, 30, 20 something years before that. And I've worked with great, amazing producers.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say people who Tyler Perry admired.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
I worked with the likes of Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad before
Okay,
they knew who Tyler Perry was. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? I was given my national platform to sing in front of the world when Bill Cosby asked me one day to sing a song, you know, on his show.
Wow. Okay,
So it's
okay.
like, so before I ever stepped foot on stage with Tyler Perry, I had been on stage with Stephanie Mills doing The Wiz on a tour. You know what I'm
Wow,
saying? And
wow.
with the original
Original.
Wizard of Oz,
Right,
um,
right, right.
with not Wizard of Oz, sorry, in the original Wiz. You know what I'm saying? There's my sister right there, Chandra Corelli. Hey sis.
Sandra Corelli, how are
Um,
you?
but you know, before I ever got to that platform to perform with the likes of Tyler Perry and Chandra Corelli and all that, God had already given me great opportunities to work with the Felicia Rashads and the Malcolm Jamals and, Lisa Bonet, all on the Cosby Show, a reoccurring role with Tashina Arnold, on a soap opera, and all those different things that I had already been given the opportunity to do before working with Tyler Perry and meeting such an amazing group of brothers and sisters, like Chandra Corelli and Cheryl Pepsi Riley. She and I were singing together before I ever hit that platform, with Tyler Perry and them in the Tyler Perry studio camp. So, I mean, but what God has given us, you know what I'm saying, is such a powerful gift,
Mm-hmm.
a gift of singing, a gift of acting. We help other people to get over the hump with
Right,
our gift,
right,
with our songs. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
that's why, we go out there and do it 110% to the best of our abilities because we don't know whose life is hanging in the balance. Who needs to hear that song?
right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? So it's
right.
like
I
that's
agree.
where it becomes powerful, bro. And so I'm honored that God would even entrust me with the gift of singing and acting, and I'm
Right, right.
still growing, man. Yeah.
Most definitely, most definitely. Now, let me ask you this because being in these productions, man, there like you spoke about it earlier. You spoke about there are certain scenes where the characters are interacting with each other and they're doing silly stuff. So, is it hard being a part of that and wanting to really laugh, but knowing that you got to stay in character, knowing that knowing the silliness and goofiness going on?
Yes. A lot of people like y'all know Floyd um, Palmer Williams.
Right.
Palmer Williams commends me. He pats me on the back because for months while we were out on tour, um, he would try to break me every night. He would try to make me laugh every single night.
Right.
And when you've come from, like I said, I'm from New York City, so I got close to being on Broadway. I got
Right,
close. I got
right,
really close, but I didn't because there was a lot of dancing in that show that I couldn't keep up fast enough. So by the
right,
time they learned it, by the time I learned it, they was moving on to something else. So it was like, man, we love your singing and your acting and everything, but you too slow when it comes down to learning these combinations, these singing, these
right,
dancing
right,
movements and
right,
stuff like that. So it's like we don't know if we're gonna waste that money on you coming to Broadway. But anyway,
right, right,
you know, when you come from that legitimate uh type, and for me, I don't like to laugh and carry on too much on stage because I got so much that I want to remember in my head.
right,
So if I break out and start laughing and a lot of people know how I am. Phoebe knows how I am, my sister on here. Um, when I start laughing, it's gonna take me a minute to get back.
right, right,
So
right.
that's why I don't do it.
Okay.
And there has been a lot of stuff to laugh at on stage. I mean, when you sit there and you look at Tyler Perry and Aunt Bam, and you are the butt of their joke,
Right,
and you're sitting there and you want to laugh too, but it's like you got to keep that face like
right. Like, okay, let me look. Let me stay. Okay, let me,
stay in
let me,
character,
let me keep
you
it. Let
know,
me keep it cool. You know.
you know what I mean. And so I mean, it's tough, but it's not tough. It's not always tough for me because like I kind of practice not laughing on stage because I know me. I'll be up there
Right,
sweating, start laughing, and then the next thing I know, my head is down and my shoulders are doing like this, and I'm like, I don't want to get to that place, not on stage where people pay their money for me to be serious. So, like,
right, 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 right.
yeah.
Oh
So
my
yeah, I
God.
mean, but it, you know, there are so many opportunities where you can really laugh on stage, and there's sometimes where I had to, do a little exhale and be like, okay, hold it together,
Right.
but yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right, right. Now let me ask you this, Maurice. Because when it comes, and you talk about touring, so when it comes to, going from city to city, state to state, has there been a city or state that you went to that you truly enjoyed being on stage, or has it been all of them really?
I want to say for me, it's been all of them. I think the only challenge is when we go to like places like Colorado,
Okay.
because that's the mile high city, right? So
Right, right.
it's hard to breathe on stage. Like
Yeah.
really, like you can tell the difference when you're somewhere else. As soon as they say, "Oh, we're going to Denver, Colorado," it's like, "Oh boy, get your lungs ready,"
Right,
because you're gonna dig deep tonight. Right? So,
right, right,
um, but for the most part, we operate like we're on stage, we're in the theater most of the time, or at the hotel. So when we go to certain cities, like like I use the Denver, Colorado, because I remember going there and the stuff that we usually just can inhale and support using your diaphragm to sing these songs and bust out at that time, you really you couldn't approach it the same way because now you're in a different altitude,
right,
and so you really had to breathe and
right,
support those notes. You
right,
do that. You do that naturally as professional performers,
right,
but it was another type of support that you had to have when you're in that mile high city. It's like whoa,
right,
you
right.
know, and you find yourself pushing a little bit harder because of the altitude. Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, we're in the cities. Some places we sat for like maybe a couple of days, and then some. Then soon, some places we hit one day, and then we're moving on to the next place, or some 2 days, and we're moving on to the next place. But we would often try to find space and time, maybe during the day, if we're sitting in a city for more than 1 or 2 days, to kind of see things, go out and hang out a little bit, have breakfast, have lunch, and then get ready for the show that night. But most for me, I mean, I'm an easygoing guy. You know what I'm saying? I like to have fun. I can hang out with anybody. Chandra, say amen if you're still on here. I mean, I like to think that everybody loves Maurice.
Most definitely, most definitely.
I
Now,
like to think that.
Most definitely. But now I wanna say this because you know, when you are building chemistry with people all around the world, and like you just said, you know, you're able to hang with anybody. That's usually a very wonderful thing. You know, and that being also working with Sandra Corelli, you know, another fantabulous, wonderful vocalist to say the least.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, so you know, whenever you are working with these different people day in day out, is there something in your mind that lets you know, like, you know, like this, I know this is what I was destined for, like I know this is something that God put in front of me to continue to do for the rest of my life, so to speak.
Um, yeah, I think that when you go into it, even coming up as a young man, you know, um, the Bible says where your heart is, your treasure will be also. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And so my heart, our hearts, in people who are artists and perform, you know, are in this. So we know what we've been chosen and called to do, you know, and we do that. These the places and the opportunities that we've been in and that we're going to be in, you know, this is where we want to be. You know, we want to tell stories. We want people to laugh. We want, you know, we're living in a time right now, and all we hear is about COVID, COVID, COVID. Amarion, they got all kind of names for these different variants
right,
that's coming up.
right, right,
You know what I'm saying? And then all we hear all day long is what's negative. You know what I'm saying? And you know, wasn't it David that played instruments, or the harp, or you know, that calm, you know what we do, it can change atmospheres, it can change the way we think, it can change how we feel. You know, that's what these instruments and these productions and different things are for, so that we keep people laughing. Laughing is medicine to the soul, you
right,
know, and whatnot. And even if a person sheds a tear of joy, you know, shedding a tear is purification. You're letting out some things. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So it's
right,
like, it's nothing bad either way, you know,
right,
but we know that we're in these positions to share the gifts that we have. You know, we know that we're in the positions to 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 give life to somebody and give hope to somebody. That's what God gives us these gifts for. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
so I know that I've been given my gift to be in these places and to do the things that I do. And that's why we do it with all of our heart. And that's why we find treasure in it as well.
Most definitely, most definitely. Well, I definitely, I again, I'm just blown away right now. Like I'm literally on a high right now because, like I said, I still cannot believe I'm literally talking to you right now. So you gotta forgive me. So real quick, I want to kind of sidebar because, you know, going back to your singing, man. You know, for people that are coming up, that are up and coming, that wants to sing, that wants to have the ability to sing, and wants to have the gift to sing, and wants to pursue a singing career, what advice and tips and gems can you give them, and for people that are watching that wants to pursue a singing career?
Um, know what you're getting yourself into. Know that you have the ability to do it. Know that you may get a whole bunch of no's before you get a yes.
Okay.
Know that you need to work on your craft. Know that there are millions of singers out there. But what makes you different?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Know that, you know, you have to build up that craft that you have. Build it up. Practice. Get yourself around people who are going to be honest with you. You know, work on those areas where you don't feel like you're that strong or confident in. You know, confidence is a lot. It means a whole lot. You know, because you get people out there who let's take an athlete for an example.
Right.
You have people out there who've been training, but they don't have the confidence. They just think that, you know, oh, these people are going to give me a shot, you know.
Right.
And then there's some people who things are being handed to that are not better than you.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Can you
Right.
deal with that?
Right.
Can you deal with a person shining that may not even be better than you? But timing is everything. You know what I'm saying? Timing is everything. I would say, prepare your reels. Hey, Carol, I would say prepare, yourself to go into this business. If you desire to do it, know that this business may have spots of great instability. You know what I'm saying? Know that this business, you may sign a contract that'll set you up for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Most
And
definitely.
know your value. Know who you are. When you go in, when you're going in, because you got people who don't they value themselves. They want you in something. They value themselves more than they value you, and then they try to devalue you because they are who they are, and they may want you to think that you don't deserve what you're asking for. But
Right.
no,
Right.
know 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 what you have, know what you bring to the table, and have respect for yourself in this business. Don't be disrespectful
Right.
to anyone
Right.
or to yourself,
Right. Right.
because there are a lot of people who want to go into this business for the wrong reasons.
I agree. They do.
They want to be stars, or they want to be popular,
Right.
and they go at it the wrong way. I had a conversation with a young person who was aspiring to be in the business, and they was like, I want this so bad, I'll do whatever it takes. That's a very powerful, strong statement.
It is. That
Because
is.
when you think about it, what is whatever it takes?
Right. Right.
What is
Gotta
that?
be very specific when you say that.
What is whatever it takes? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And
Right.
there are people who had that mindset that can't even lift their head in a room because everybody knows what they did, whatever it takes.
Right.
If you read in between the lines,
I do.
there are people who can't look other people eye to eye and shake hands without bowing down to another person, because they have submitted themselves to doing actions that may be something that they would never ever want to tell anybody.
Most definitely. I
There are,
definitely agree with
you
that.
there are people who have gone out and forgotten their family, forgotten who God was. I mean, let me tell you, man, I've been in places, bro, where I traveled all over the world, and I, not that I was, straight as an arrow myself. I'll
Right.
tell on me first. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
I wasn't all of that myself, but I didn't. I went overseas one time with a group of people, and I was like, I seen a lot of people who I went to church with who act like God's eyes didn't reach over to Europe.
Right.
It was like, he ain't watching us over here, so we can just do whatever we want to do. I mean, like,
Right. Like, really though? Like, that's what we doing?
so I was like, oh man, But
Right.
the thing is that it's all that's that all maturing and growing, learning, how you handle yourself.
Right.
Listen, the Bible says a good name is better to be desired than precious oil. And in that time when they're speaking about oil, was a lot. It was a lot of money.
Right.
A lot of money. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'd rather walk around with a good reputation than to be walking around with somebody whispering like, yo,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then when you're at the foot of somebody else,
Right.
they can offer you anything and you accept it, because look, if you don't do it, I'm gonna say da 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 da.
Right.
So
Right.
why would you want to live like that? So I don't do whatever it takes. I
Right.
don't ever esteem somebody so high that I lose my self-esteem, or put away my character, or put away God, or anything like that, to where I'm like, yo, are you? Nah. I don't want to ever let no man think that he got more power to control who I am, or woman.
Right. Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
I do. I
You know,
definitely do.
you gotta have a standard, like the big stars. They got a standard,
Right. They do.
and they'll say, no, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that, and da 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 da. You got to do this, and you got to do that. Why can't I say that? Why can't I think that about myself?
Right. Right. Now, let me ask you this, and again, I definitely appreciate you dropping these gems because I feel like this is where everybody that inspires to want to take this road needs to know this. So when it comes to and you spoke about being a father and a husband,
Mm-hmm.
being a father and a husband, what is that responsibility like for you to knowing that you're out here touring and traveling the world and being the city to city, and then knowing that your family is not too far behind? What is that like for you?
Um, it's a lot. It's a good experience, but it's also an experience where you just have to marry the right person.
Right. That you do. I love it.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
Right.
if you don't have a person if you have a person who I've heard a lot of people who say that they have a lot of static um, because when before they got married or had whether you're dating or whatever, whether they
Right.
have this in common, you know, and have someone who's wise,
Right.
who understands what you do and who's going to support what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There are
Right.
a lot of people I've spoken to several ladies and gentlemen who are
Right.
friends of mine,
Right.
that said that their spouses or their people who they were dating didn't support them. So though they said they did, it seemed like they were always frustrated when they got great opportunities that kind of put them on the road or got them
Right.
so busy.
Right.
But you got to know how to have quality time.
Right.
You got
Right.
to know how to keep that community, because there were times like when I would go out on the road, or go away and do different gigs, and I buy my wife a ticket and say, "Come on over for the weekend,"
Right.
or come hang out, come see the show. You know
Right.
what I mean? There are different things that you do. Not only is your pay going to hit the account every week, and that's wonderful. Some people would just be like, "Oh, I'm just glad that he's making money." You know,
Right.
he can stay out there on the road all for another 2 months.
Right.
But what about
Right.
that quality time? What about that time? See, I have 2 sons and a daughter and a granddaughter now.
Okay.
But
Okay.
when I was going on tour, they were much younger. But then I understood that my son needed my presence.
Right.
So it was a blessing that there were times where I wasn't on the road.
Right.
You know what I mean? To where I could be at my son's football game. So I can be there to coach them after they get off the field. So I can
Right.
be there to be a role model to them. So I can be there to continue to encourage them and to speak life into them and tell them they can make it and tell them that they're the best thing out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And being able to nurture my daughter and say those things that will build her character and build her self-esteem. All of that stuff is needed, but not only coming from me, but if you choose the right woman or the right man, that when you do go out and do your business, that they're still saying the same thing.
Right.
They're still saying the same thing. So there has to be, like yes, Phoebe, balance. You got to
Right.
know how to create that balance even when you're on the road. The good thing about working with Tyler Perry and Peaches Productions, that when Tyler Perry was on the road, because he had so much going on other than the tour that we
Right.
were on, we would work from Thursday to Sunday. So we
Right.
come home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we travel.
Right.
So we had a couple of days home to, hang out, have dinner dates, and hang out with my son, and watch movies in the house and chill. All those
Right.
things matter. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Be there to ask them how's school going. Keeping them staying, asking them those questions, holding them accountable. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So that you have to know how to balance it. You got to know how to continue to keep things fresh, if you would. You know what I'm saying?
Most
And
definitely.
not just say, "Yo, I'm working," and no. You have, as a husband and as a wife, we have responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? So you don't stop being a husband when you go out on the road. You don't
Right.
stop being a wife when you go out on the road. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's like, yo,
Right.
you keep it fresh, you keep it hot.
Most definitely. I'm so glad you spoke about that, because that was gonna be my question, because I was gonna ask, being on the road, touring as much as you do, do you get that time to, like you said, have that quality time with your family, with your wife and your kids? Do you get that time to rest and be able to take a breather and be like, okay, this is my time now. I'm just gonna relax. I'm just gonna chill. And then when it's time to go back on the road, I'm gonna be fully rejuvenated, fully refreshed, and be able to get back and go back to it.
Right. Somebody said, what about that temptation? Right, that's a good question. Yeah, it's out there. It's out there. It's out there. You know what I'm saying? It's out there. I ain't gonna tell nobody that it's not out there. You know what I mean? But what do you do?
Right.
What do you do when that temptation comes up? So
Right.
when the temptation comes up, what you do is you get on the phone with your wife.
That's exactly what you do. Everybody get on the
You know
phone
what
with
I
your
mean?
wife and your husband. I'm trying to tell
Get
you.
on the phone with your wife, get on the phone with your husband. Because I mean it's out there. You know, when you're on stage, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think I'm a bad looking dude, you know. I mean I lost some weight, you know, all that and everything. So it's like
Right.
some people like some
That
people
you
are
did,
like,
sir.
yo,
That you did.
we're like, yo, is that Maurice? But there is no temptation that God doesn't make a way of escape from.
Right. Right.
It's all about how you move. It's
Right.
about how you move, y'all.
Right.
Because like, you know, you got guys who come on and it's all about how you move.
Right.
If you move a certain way,
Right.
you can avoid that. Yes,
Right.
they're gonna want to take pictures with you. They're gonna take a picture with you, and by the time you finish taking the picture, you feel like they was in your pocket
Right.
because that's how close they're gonna squeeze you. They're gonna be like, oh my God, you know, because when we out there in the road, we smelling good, we looking good, you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
We chilling, you know. But it's all about how you respond to the flirts. It's about how you respond to those things, you know, because you got people who, you know, just come and rub your back.
Right.
And that's a term of endearment, right? They real comfortable with you when they rubbing your back.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Now if you rub their back, then you sending a message. It's like, yo.
That part.
So, you know, it's all about just staying focused. You gotta stay focused. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay focused and communicating with your partner, your lover, your wife, your husband, whoever, whatever you want to call them, whoever
Right.
they are to you. You gotta make sure that that communication and that respect is there, and that you remember who you are.
Right. Right.
Remember who you are. You don't lose yourself when you go out on tour.
Right.
It's not a way. It's like, oh, you know how I let my dog out the back door and he just go running.
Right. 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 Right.
He's
He
like, I'm
gone. He
free.
gone. Right.
I'm free. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But you got to be like me when it comes down to that. If I would use this analogy, I have a remote
Right.
and I press a button
Right.
and it beeps. And wherever he is, I don't care how far off he went, you can hear that sucker's feet hitting the ground and he's coming back, running back home. And
Right.
it's just like that when you walking with God and you out there.
Right.
It's like the Holy Spirit is a remote.
Right.
And when you hear that beep, that means it's time for you to you went out far enough. Come
Right.
on back in, son.
It's time. Right. It's time to bring it
Come
on
on
back in.
back in.
Right.
Come
I
on
agree.
in. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta set boundaries. You gotta just know who you are when you go out on the road. Know who you are.
Most
Can't be
definitely.
out there. I've heard stories where people, and I don't know these people, so I can tell y'all a story. I don't know their name either, so I can still tell y'all the story. But they went out there and got so drunk or so high that people had to bring them back to the hotel.
What?
So who goes out after a show that you just performed and gets so high
Right.
That someone has to bring you back to the hotel.
Wow. That's
So,
man. Look,
so you
that's
gotta know who you are. No, and then the respect is like, okay, let's just say you out there with a production, and you're with the Tyler Perrys, and you're with the Felicia Rashards, and you're with, you know, these big promoters and whatnot.
right.
Not only is your name lit up, but also you partially bring them in too, because you're with them.
Right. Right. I
So
agree.
you you gotta hold yourself with respect. You gotta be respect. You gotta respect yourself. And everybody has some type of habit or whatever.
Right. They
But
do.
don't bring it to the place to don't bring yourself to a place where your name and your reputation is ruined, or the people you work with are now looking at what kind of people are they hiring and all that kind of stuff. Know who you are. Walk with some integrity. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
But that's how you deal with those temptations. That's how you deal with the business. And let me tell you, temptation is always around us.
Right.
You know, it's always there. While
That
you're on the
part.
road, are you actively looking for more work? You're always looking for work. Always. And but work has to make sense. Even now, being in the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. I
Right.
don't care who calls me for work. It has to make sense. I'm
Right.
I've grown, and I'm old enough and mature enough to know now that it's not about making money to
Right.
live.
Right.
It's not about that.
Right.
I'm
I
looking at people. I'm looking at people that I work with, and they flossing. Well,
big
meanwhile,
time.
I'm working for Amazon. So
Right.
it's like,
Right.
yo,
Right.
no, no. I've been in the business long enough to ask for what I want. I
Right.
think that my talent is good enough to ask for what I want and
Right.
not be ashamed.
Right. I
You
agree.
know,
I totally agree.
it's it's all about respecting yourself, even in that regard.
Right.
Right now, when
Right.
people come to you, if it makes sense,
Right.
then yeah, we can do business. But that
Right.
doesn't make sense. Some stuff don't make sense. I'd rather stay at Amazon if it don't make sense.
Right. I agree. I totally
If
agree. I totally agree
yeah,
with that. That's
yeah.
that's real. That's real. That's real talk. Real quick. I'm a DJ. Did you wanna throw a quick question in there real quick?
Nah, actually, the only thing I got is a comment, man. Like everything that you said has been amazing, and I've been like really into the comments. Uh, just how humble you are and how much you're able to touch the people, man. It's a blessing for me to even witness.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Let me tell you, that all comes from the experiences, man. It all comes from experiences, brother. You when you experience, um, and I've done this a lot in my career, where like you sow into people, with your gift, and some people don't think of you beyond that, you know. But when you give and you give and you sow, you're gonna reap. If you sow by giving your time, like now, somebody would say, well, um, for me, can I interview you? Or some people might say, yo, you got to pay me for coming on your joint. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here. My thing is like, I want to encourage people. I want to encourage my brother here. You know what I'm saying? And encourage myself, because I think that people need to know and see how real you are and how real life is being in this business.
Most
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying?
Hmm.
I'm on television every day right now, and I'm not a millionaire yet.
Keyword.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yet, and I say yet. Because the business it teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you a lot of things.
That is
So that's where the humility comes in. And then I feel like this. I know it's 24 people on here, but if I was in a room with everybody that's on this live right now, I would take a picture with everybody on the live. I would probably have a conversation with individuals and answer questions about whatever they felt like that I could answer, because I've been down. I've looked at myself on DVD covers and my bank account was nowhere near what I thought it should be. I've been down. You know what I'm saying? I've watched myself on television. You know what I mean? And did not have $300 in my bank account. You know what I mean? And here it
Right.
is. People are dying laughing at me or crying or feeling all this joy and having a great time. But Maurice was dealing with life as it was or as it may be, you know, but this is what people want to hear. This ain't it's not a fantasy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a fantasy. You know what I'm saying? But what the good thing is that that season only lasts for a moment, for a couple of you give me seasons. If you look how seasons go. Before you know it, we'll be moving into spring, and that's just what happens in life. You may be going through a cold season, but then here comes the sun, and it shows itself even when it's cold. It shows itself, so then it creates in you an expectation to know that after this, it's gonna get better, and that's how I
Absolutely.
live. You know what I'm saying? That's how I live. I know that after this and what I'm learning in this business in God's favor, it'll get better. Opportunities, doors are opening, you know what I mean? More shows, television, all that stuff is coming down the pipeline, you know? And so that's where the humility comes in because I know what it means to be down, but I also know what it means to be up. But
Wow. Wow.
I heard somebody say reach for the sky. So even if you fall amongst the stars, you're still high.
Wow. That's deep, dog. that's deep, Wayne. I'm about to tell you. That's as real as it gets. Like, yo, like that's mind blowing. So and I'm surrounded by emotions because like my DJ said, as we're sitting here and we're listening to you, and you're revealing all of this, it just really puts into perspective where life can really take you and the people that you can meet along the way. And having and meeting people like yourself and having a conversation with you truly opens up a lot of doors, truly opens up a lot of mindsets because people are so closed-minded nowadays. And when you have people like yourself that are able to come on a platform such as Instagram and speak about these things and not, as you said, not feel ashamed about it or not feel embarrassed about it, it really helps people to feel better about life moving forward.
Yeah.
So I'm eternally grateful to not only have your presence here, but to, again, like I said in the beginning, to have watched you, from the DVDs, to have, conversated with you offline, you know what I'm saying, and to be able to have the
Mm,
conversation with you, it's
mm,
truly been a blessing to me and an honor to me. But in my last two things I want to kind of throw out there, I want to kind of ask you about is when it comes to, because I know you and we spoke about, you teach a class, as it relates to, your singing and things of that nature. If people want to get in tune with that, how do they go about getting in tune with, your class and getting registered and signed up for your class?
if you go to my it's called
Thank you,
Fine Tune Vocal.
Sandra. I love you.
I love you
I
too,
love her.
sis. It's called Fine Tune Vocal Coaching. It's a page here on Instagram. All you have to do is really go like that page, and leave me a note. I check it every day, and I will, Alicia or myself will get back to you and communicate with you on that. If you're interested in me being your vocal coach, um, you know, that's as simple as that. Also, Alicia and we have a ministry called Free Ministry, and it's also here on Instagram. It's called Free Ministry Church 82. That's the page. On Facebook, it's called Free Ministries. We go live every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's, this is what our life is, you know what I'm saying? And Yeah, those are the two things. With vocal coaching, that came out of a business too. I mean, out of this business, man, it's just so much. What the things that you think that is the worst thing that can happen, God will use it to push you to create. Where what you from your gift. I was scheduled to go on a tour, and I got a phone call that morning, the day I was supposed to leave, to say that the tour was canceled.
I think I remember you telling that story. I remember you
Yeah,
talking.
and I'm like, who in the world does stuff like that? To
Right,
have 15 to 20 people, or however many people it was, or whatever, to um, be scheduled to work, and then the day that you're supposed to go to work,
right.
they
They
pull
right,
pull the
right,
covers from underneath. And as a black father, one who provides, and we're looking forward to that work. And I had to pray. I mean, I was very upset, and I had to pray, and fine tune vocal coaching was birthed out of that, because God told me, use what you have. And I was like, I don't understand what that is. Use what you have. Give people what you have. And I was like, the light turns on. Give people the gift of singing. Train people, coach people. I'm like, oh man, and so I came up with fine tune vocal coaching. And so, that came out of a bad situation. I felt like I didn't know what to do, man. Cause I'm like, you talking about 3 months of work? And I'm like, yo,
right,
I'm like, what the heck?
right, right,
And,
right.
but one thing one thing that we all have to remember is that everything that seems bad is not always bad. It could be a learning curve for you.
Right,
It could be a moment of maturity for you. It
right,
could be a moment of increasing your faith to believe.
right,
Dig inside. And why do we say dig inside? Because greater is He that is within me
right.
than he that is within the world. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So I'm digging in. I'm like, God, you gotta help me, because I don't know what to do right now.
Most definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now tuning in, we are talking live with Maurice Lauchner. He has starred in Tyler Perry's Madea's Christmas, Bam's Place. You've seen him in some of everything. So if you guys are tuning in, I wanna say thank you for tuning in. And my last question I got for you, Maurice, before I let you go, because I could go on all day, but I know you got other things you got to do. But I'm truly thankful again to have had you here, to get to know you a little better, get to know you and your journey and your story. But the last thing I want to know is, what's next for Maurice? What can we expect to see Maurice doing next in 2022? What can we expect?
Man, I got irons in the fire, brother. One of the things I'm definitely gonna be working on is some new music. That's one. And I'm really, really, really trying to cover that Mary Did You Know and relive that duet with Alexis Jones.
You know what? I was just about to say, listen, again, like you said, that is one of those songs that, and even to this day, me and my mom are huge. Again, like I said, my mom is also a huge fan of yours, and she absolutely loves you. She loves to hear you sing. And she's
Man.
actually in the live right now. But
What's up, Mom? Where you at? Come on,
there
get on
she
the
is right
camera so I
there.
can say hi to you. Where she at? Angela? Angel?
Angel for life. That's my mom right there. She absolutely loves you.
Yes.
But
I
like I
love her
said,
too.
but the thing I will say is, with everything that you got going on, is there anything that, when it comes to Mary Did You Know, that I might add, is that one of those songs that you feel like you'll be singing for the rest of your life, pretty much?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I'm telling you, man, there's more. I mean, there's so much more. Recording, um, um, doing a show that we're presently kind of chipping away at writing. Working with some of my boys, like Palmer Williams. I want to work again with Chandra Corelli and with Patrice Lovely, Tasha Page Lockhart. It's just so many wonderful, wonderful relationships that have been formed, because of working on the Tyler Perry platform. You know what I'm saying? And so I have so many of those relationships. And again, it's all about showing yourself friendly. You gain friends, not just
Right.
acquaintances. You gain friends. When you show yourself friendly, you will gain friends. You
Right.
know, and that's a good thing, man. You know, money is money, but everything don't it didn't cost me nothing but an hour and some minutes, you know, for me to come on and be a part of your platform.
I
You know,
appreciate so much because like I said, you could have declined, you could have said no, but I'm grateful that you said yes because I'm like, yo, like I said, I've been watching you for a minute, so I'm like, if I have the opportunity to talk to Maurice, I'm I'm gonna just sit back and let you talk. Really, I'm gonna just let you talk because I ain't really got much to say for real.
nah, I mean, you have a lot to say, man. It's all about just, you know, creating something that people want to hear.
Most definitely, most
And you know, and talking about, because I mean, we hear enough foolishness every day, you know,
right,
and I
most
don't really have time to be talking about all that stuff. It's like whatever, you know, but life itself, learning how to live in life and walking in the light of life, you know, which is God, you know, and you know, it's an honor for me to be able to have this space and this time to share with your audience and with people who follow me, you know what I mean? And it's a blessing, man, because I mean, there's a real story. I mean, if I got down to the nitty gritty, you know, people be like, yo,
right,
whoa, you know what I'm
right,
saying? But of course, you wanna have. I like to say I have a lot of wisdom at my
right.
young age.
That that you do, that you do.
At my young age, you know. Um, but you know, we definitely want to be able to share something that will help somebody. You know, those questions about these up and coming singers. Don't go
Right,
out there and sell your soul for no day to be working with people. You know, and everybody's, oh, one day I want to work with such and such and this person and that person. You don't even know them.
right, right,
You don't even know how they'll treat you.
right. Exactly, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know them. You know, but pray and ask God to set up opportunities for you. That's what I did. That's how I got all of these things that I've done. I prayed and asked God, and then some of them just came through somebody else saying, "Hey, do you know Maurice? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Have you
right,
heard this guy? Have you heard him sing? I
right,
mean, do you know him? You need to know this guy." And that's how I was presented. That was a blessing to like for my boy to say it like that.
right, right,
You know, it's like, but he can only say that if that's the way I treated him.
right, 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 right. I agree.
If,
I agree. Well,
you know,
Maurice, man, listen. You know,
I got one.
huh?
Go ahead. I got one more plug. Y'all, listen. My wife wrote a book.
Okay, go
It's
ahead, plug it in.
it's called I Love My Me. I Love My Me. Type that in. I Love My Me, and you can purchase it. Her name is Alicia Lauchner. You can purchase this book if you have nieces, nephews. It's all about, you know, we had my granddaughter Amaya was born prematurely, extreme premature baby. She was she was 1 pound and 3 ounces when she was born, and my wife saw her looking at herself in the mirror a lot. But then, you know, these kids nowadays, they look a lot of tablets and computer,
Technology, yeah.
and so she was saying she had said something to my wife about I want my hair like this, you know, and so she started and this is young. You start looking at certain things that attract you and that you want to look like instead of looking in the mirror and seeing that you were beautifully and wonderfully made by God. And so that's how she came up with I Love My Me. Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Angel, for
I
life
appreciate
too.
it.
Y'all go ahead on and check out that book. If you buy it directly from her, she will obtain most of the proceeds. If you buy it offline, of course she will have to split most of that money with Amazon and all that kind of stuff. But if you desire to have a book, just DM Gospel Chick. She's on here on Instagram. Gospel Chick. Her name is Alicia Lochner. and she would be glad to mail you out a book, autograph it, and we really appreciate it because everything that we do, even in the ministry, everything that we do, we have our ministry. We just began through the pandemic, and it's small, but we've had people sow into our ministry to where we sponsored 6 kids who were adopted during the Christmas holiday. We got them the gifts that they wanted.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's
we
amazing.
sponsored, we sponsored 6 children. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do in our ministry, and it's to being a blessing to somebody. But I'm gonna let you talk, man. I'm talking a whole lot. But,
Hey, listen. I told you. I'm sitting back. I'm listening to you because, like I said, this is an honor for me. I'm listening to you talk. But I will say in my closing, I'm grateful. Again, I'm gonna continue to say I'm eternally grateful to have had this conversation with you because, like they say, you never really know what someone is dealing with. You never know what somebody is going through until you have that conversation. And when we as people, we watch these DVDs, we see these characters being played out. Some of those characters, again, that like we spoke about, some of those characters, we see some of ourselves in those characters. So when you guys your people like yourself are putting these characters out there and for the world to see, and people are actually living these lives, it just makes the narrative in the story that much greater and better because it lets you know that you may be going through this particular situation, but you can come out of the situation 10 times better than what you may have been in it before.
Right.
So I'm grateful to everybody that's tuned in. I'm thankful to my DJ Wade Banner for being with us. Again, shouts out to Maurice for tapping in with us. Shouts out to everybody. Shouts out to I gotta give a couple of shout outs real quick. Sandra Corelli, we thank you. I Carol, we thank you. Miss Chief, we thank you. Official A Baker, we thank you. Raleigh Boy, everybody that tuned in today, we absolutely thank you all for tuning in and rocking with us. But this has been my time. I am the one and true and living legend, Hunter J23 of Independent Scene Podcast. Real quickly, Maurice, let people know where they can follow and tap in with you at, brother.
Just type my name in at Maurice Lauchner on Gmail. At Maurice Lauchner on Instagram and Maurice Man Lauchner on Facebook. That's my follow page. And also tomorrow night, David and I will be live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with Trey, who is Praise Your Way. He has his tag name is Praise Your Way. He does a lot of videos of people praising God. It's funny stuff. And so we'll be on tomorrow doing like a little talent show. We got some people that's going to come on and sing and do their thing. DJ, if you want to come on and spin some music, you're more than welcome to come on in, man. Sure. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we're going to be doing. And so that's where you can follow me. I hope that you guys who don't follow me have followed me already tonight.
Hey, definitely make sure you guys follow. Make sure you guys are tapping that screen. Make sure you guys are following. Make sure you guys are communicating. Make sure you guys are keeping this love, keeping the growth going. I have truly been blessed by this podcast. I hope you guys have been blessed too. Hope you guys learned a lot. Hope you guys got a lot of gems and a lot of advice, a lot of tips to apply to your everyday lives. But like I said, this has been my time. I want to say thank you to everybody for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time on another edition of Independent Scene Podcast. I am your host, Sancho J, and we'll see you next time.
All right, brother. Peace, man.
All right, my guy.
All right.
And with that, and like I said, Wade, bro, I appreciate you, dog. Thank you for coming through, man. I definitely appreciate you, my boy.
Oh, yeah, you already know it, brother.
Most definitely. I said real quickly, you guys, if you're not following DJ Wade, go and follow him right now. DJ, if you want to plug in anything, go ahead. Now's the time to go ahead and plug in real quick.
Man, just follow me. Follow me. If it's going on, we'll post it.
Most definitely. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time, guys. We out.